Every morning is a door that opens to a new possibility. No matter what happened yesterday, today you can begin again. In Buddhism, dawn is not only the start of the day, it is a sacred moment when the mind is still clean and the heart open. The way we begin the morning deeply influences how we move through the rest of our day. That is why, in this video, I share with you 10 Buddhist techniques to wake up with calm, clarity, and purpose. Small acts, when done with awareness, can transform your life. Before we begin, I invite you to subscribe and leave a like if you value these spaces of wisdom and inner silence. Technique 1. Wake up with gratitude. Each day that dawns is a new opportunity. But we often forget it when we wake up immersed in hurry, unfinished tasks, or worries left over from yesterday. Instead, Buddhism invites us to start each day from a much deeper place, that of conscious gratitude. Even before fully opening your eyes, in pause, stay still for a few seconds without thinking yet about the clock. Your obligations, or what you have to do, feel your breathing. It comes in and goes out naturally without you having to do anything. Listen to the steady, silent, faithful beating of your heart. You are alive, and that alone is an immense gift. You do not need complex words or grand gestures. It is enough to place one hand over your chest. Feel that pulse of life and say silently, "Thank you." Just that. That simple word can become a powerful seed if you plant it with sincerity. Buddhism teaches that a grateful mind is a peaceful mind. In contrast, the dissatisfied mind, the one that always seeks more, that compares, that complains, lives trapped in suffering. That is why starting the day from gratitude is a wise way to change your focus. Not from what is missing, but from what is already here. You may have worries. There may be clouds in your mind or in your heart. Even so, the simple act of giving thanks can open a space of light. You can be grateful for the roof that shelters you, for the bed that held you through the night, for the cool Australian air coming in through the window, for your body. Even if it is not perfect, because it continues to accompany you on the path. This practice is not a superficial act. It is a deep, intimate, silent gesture, like watering an inner flower. A flower that, if you care for it every morning, over time begins to perfume your entire day. When you wake up with gratitude, your thoughts become softer, your heart more open, and your energy more stable. Not because challenges disappear, but because your attitude toward them changes. You begin to see opportunities in the midst of difficulties. You connect with what is essential. Make this moment a ritual just for you. You do not need anyone to see it or approve it. True gratitude does not seek applause. It is a silent conversation between you and life, a sacred agreement with the present. And if one day you forget to do it, do not worry. Tomorrow begins again. Buddhism reminds us that every dawn is a new opportunity to awaken, not only physically, but spiritually. And giving thanks can be your first step. Technique 2. Breathe with awareness. Every morning, as soon as we wake up, our mind begins to move quickly. Thoughts about what needs to be done, unfinished matters, emotions we carry over from the previous day. In the midst of that inner whirlwind, Buddhism offers us a tool as simple as it is powerful: conscious breathing. Breathing is much more than a physiological process. It is a silent bridge between your body and your mind, a direct path back to the present moment. When you breathe with attention, even for just a few moments, something inside you aligns, the chaos quiets, the mind clears, and the body awakens gently. Upon waking, before looking at your phone or getting out of bed, stay for a few seconds with your eyes closed. Take 3 deep breaths without rush, without pressure. Inhale slowly through your nose and feel how the air enters. It travels through your interior, awakens your cells. Then exhale calmly, as if releasing the weight accumulated during the night. Worries, tensions, anxiety. This small, seemingly simple gesture has a powerful effect. It is like pressing a pause button in the middle of the noise. You return to yourself, and from there, from that brief refuge of awareness, you can begin the day with more calm, more balance, more clarity. Buddhism teaches that conscious breathing is a direct form of meditation. You do not need to sit for hours, nor be in a template. It is enough to be present here and now in that act of inhaling and exhaling. Each breath is an opportunity to return home, to reconnect with your center. In addition, this practice awakens the body with respect. After hours of stillness during sleep, the renewed oxygen activates your muscles, ignites your energy, and aligns your mind. It is an awakening from within. It is not about breathing better, but about breathing with attention, about realizing that you are breathing, about feeling the miracle of that movement that happens without you ordering it. And when you realize it, something opens. A silent, kind, present awareness. Make these 3 breaths your daily ritual. It costs nothing, and yet it transforms everything. Even if the rest of the day is hectic, you will have begun with an anchor, a moment you can remember when you need it, a space of peace you can return to as many times as you wish, because your breath is always with you. You do not need to look for it outside. Just pause. Close your eyes if you wish, and allow yourself to feel it. With that, you are already in the present. You are already within yourself. And when you begin your day this way, with presence and awareness, not only does the way you breathe change, the way you live changes. Technique 3. Set an intention. Every morning is like a blank canvas, and you, with your thoughts, emotions, and decisions, will be the one who paints on it. But before beginning to draw any line, Buddhism suggests a silent and powerful act. Setting an intention, ask yourself honestly and gently how you want to live this day. It is not about making a list of tasks or achieving external goals. It is not a commitment to productivity or to pressure. Setting an intention is something deeper. It is an inner declaration, an orientation of the heart. It is telling yourself how you want to be, how you wish to relate to the world, to yourself, to others. An intention is like a compass. It does not control what happens outside you, but it helps you not to lose yourself within. When the day becomes confusing, stressful, or uncertain, as so often happens, that intention is what reminds you of your true north. Perhaps today you choose to listen more and speak less, Perhaps you decide to judge less and understand more. Or your intention may be as simple as moving calmly, acting with compassion, or remaining present even in difficulty. What matters is not that the intention is big, but that it is authentic, that it comes from your heart, not from your fears or your duties. By setting it, you are not imposing an obligation on yourself, but opening a path. Buddhism reminds us that everything begins in the mind. Every action, every word, every look is born first from a thought, from an inner energy. That is why planting an intention upon waking is like planting a seed of clarity in the fertile soil of your awareness. And like every seed, it will grow if you water it with attention and presence throughout the day. There is no need to repeat it 1,000 times or write it down on paper. It is enough to remember it when you need it. If in the middle of the chaos of the day you feel that you are drifting away from yourself, pause, breathe, and return to your intention. Ask yourself, am I acting from what I decided this morning? Am I being who I want to be? Setting an intention does not make you perfect, but it makes you aware. It gives you direction. And that inner direction helps you make wiser decisions, avoid impulsive reactions, and live with greater coherence between what you think, feel, and do. Make this practice a daily habit. Take a few seconds each morning to look inward and choose from the soul how you wish to walk today. It does not need to be a perfect phrase or have beautiful words. It only needs to be true for you. Because when your day begins with a clear intention, every step has meaning. And that alone is already a form of awakening. Technique 4. Let go of expectations. From the moment we wake up, our mind begins to build images of how the day should be. That everything goes according to plan. That there are no setbacks. That people act as we expect. That the body responds with energy. That there are no mistakes or discomforts. But reality rarely adjusts to that mental script. And when it does not, discomfort appears. Buddhism teaches that much of human suffering arises not from what happens, but from what we expected to happen and did not. It is the attachment to a fixed idea that hurts us. Not so much the situation itself. We resist what is because we had imagined something else. That is why a deep practice for each morning is this: letting go of expectations. Letting go does not mean giving up or stopping dreaming. It means opening yourself to the unexpected without losing peace. It means walking with direction, but without rigidity. It means living the present as it is, not as we thought it should be. When you let go of expectations, you make space. Space for surprise, for learning, for what is real, your limits and your humanity. The day does not have to be perfect to be valuable. Perhaps something will be delayed. Perhaps someone will disappoint you. Perhaps things will not turn out as you expected. But that does not mean the day is lost. If you are present, if you are calm, you can still find beauty, meaning, and peace. Buddhism invites us to be like bamboo, strong on the inside, but flexible in form. Bamboo bends with the wind, but it does not break. In the same way, if we learn to flow with changes, with the unexpected turns of life, our serenity remains firm. Upon waking, you can say to yourself silently, "Today, I leave space for whatever may come. Not everything will turn out the way I want, and that is okay." This affirmation is not resignation. It is wisdom. It is choosing peace over control. It is trusting that even if the path changes, you can continue walking with dignity, awareness, and openness. Practicing this each morning is an act of inner courage. It is a gesture of humility, of deep acceptance. It frees you from the weight of demanding that life be the way you want it to be and invites you to embrace it as it is. And in that lucid surrender, in that gentleness with what arrives and what does not, true peace is born. A peace that does not depend on the external, a peace that is cultivated from within. Flow like bamboo, flexible, present, at peace. Because life does not always follow your plans, and that is okay. Technique 5. Meditate, even if only for a few minutes. In a world where noise seems to begin even before the day itself, sitting in silence for a few minutes may seem like a luxury. But in Buddhism, it is seen as a necessity of the soul. You do not need long hours of retreat or a special corner with incense burning. You only need the decision to be present with yourself, even if only for 5 minutes. Those 5 minutes, so brief on the clock, can offer a depth that an hour of hurried activity cannot reach. The purpose is not to empty the mind, as is sometimes misunderstood, but simply to observe what is there without intervening, without judging, without escaping. Close your eyes. Sit with your spine upright, as someone who is meeting something sacred. Breathe. Feel the contact of your body with the surface where you are. Observe the natural rhythm of the air entering and leaving. Listen to what moves within you. Thoughts, emotions, physical sensations. Everything is part of you. Everything has permission to be there. Buddhism reminds us that meditating is not about stopping thoughts, but about stopping being dragged by them. It is like sitting on the bank of a river, watching the current flow. Without jumping in, you learn to look kindly at everything that appears. A restlessness, a joy, a memory, a tension. You see it, you breathe it, and you let it pass. That stillness is not emptiness. It is a space full of life. It is there that you can listen to yourself without distraction, where you can meet yourself without masks, where you can rest in the present. Because at its core, meditation is that, a return home, a return to what is essential. This moment of silence also acts as a medicine for inner agitation. It will not always heal what hurts, but it softens the edges, relieves the pressure, and clears the vision. When you sit to meditate, even for just a couple of minutes upon waking, you are not wasting time. You are caring for your mind as one waters a garden every morning before the sun grows harsh. And the more you practice it, the more natural it will become. Silence will stop feeling uncomfortable and will begin to feel like a refuge, an inner place you can return to. Even in the midst of external chaos, make this practice your own, without pressure, without perfectionism. Just you, your breath, and the present moment. You do not need to be a monk to meditate. You only need to truly want to be with yourself. And when you begin the day like this, in silence, in presence, in attention, the rest of the day has a different route. One proceeding clearer, more at peace. Technique 6. Practice loving kindness. Every morning, before going out into the world, you have the opportunity to plant within yourself a different energy. An energy that is not born from urgency or obligation, but from a sincere wish for well being for all beings. This practice in Buddhism is called metta, or loving kindness, and it is one of the most powerful ways to transform your day and your heart. You do not need to perform great rituals or speak words out loud. You only need to close your eyes for a few seconds and wish well to yourself, to the people you love, to those you do not know, and even, yes, especially to those who have hurt you. Begin with yourself in silence. Gently repeat, "May I be at peace. May I be healthy. May I be free from suffering." Do not say it out of habit. Say it as if you were speaking to your soul. Because many times the first person we forget to treat with love is ourselves. Then carry that same wish toward your loved ones. Imagine someone you love and repeat inwardly, "May you be at peace. May you have health. May you live with joy." Visualize that wish surrounding that person like a warm breeze, like a silent ray of light that caresses and releases. And then go one step further. Think of someone neutral, someone with whom you do not have a close relationship, but who also lives their own struggles, joys, and fears. Offer them the same wish without distinction. Finally, if you feel ready, think of someone with whom you have had difficulties, not to justify what happened, but to free yourself from the resentment that binds you. Wishing them peace is not an act of weakness, but of inner strength and spiritual wisdom. In silence, sigh, "May you also be at peace. May your heart find rest." Buddhism teaches that everything we give from the heart returns multiplied. When you practice loving kindness, you do not only change your vibration, you change the quality of your presence. Your gestures soften. Your words become more conscious. Your way of looking at the world fills with understanding. This simple act expands your heart and softens your energy. You do not need anyone to know. It is not an act to display, but to inhabit. And if one day you feel nothing, if it is hard to wish well even for yourself, do not punish yourself. Just repeat the phrases with patience, like someone watering a seed. Love will grow with time. Make this practice a silent but constant ritual. Dedicate a few minutes each morning to wishing well without conditions. And you will notice how your way of being in the world changes. How, when you cultivate love in the morning, you walk more lightly throughout the day. Not because everything is perfect, but because you carry within you a light that embraces, understands, and releases. Technique 7. Observe your thoughts upon waking, even before moving your body. The mind is already in motion. Thoughts appear as if someone had turned on a projector. What you have to do today, what you did not do yesterday, an unfinished conversation, an uncomfortable memory, a shapeless worry. And what is curious is that no one called them. They simply appear like waves reaching the shore without you controlling them. But this is where Buddhism offers a transformative teaching. You are not your thoughts. You can have them, observe them, even learn from them. But you do not need to believe them all or let yourself be carried away by them. The practice consists of looking at them with full attention, but without attachment, as if they were clouds crossing the sky of your mind. They come, they change, and they go. Some are dark and heavy, others are light and almost transparent. But none of them stay forever, and none of them are you when you wake up Take a few minutes to silently observe which thoughts are present. Do not try to change them or force yourself to think positively. Just look at them, acknowledge them. If one of them creates restlessness, do not fight it. Breathe, let it be, and then gently return to your breathing, to that fixed point that connects you to the present. In Buddhism, this practice is called mental vigilance or mindful awareness of mental processes. It is not an exercise of control, but of inner freedom, because the more you learn to observe your thoughts without identifying with them, the more space you create between what happens in your mind and the way you choose to act. This space is key. Freedom is born there. You no longer react automatically. You do not take everything personally. You do not act from impulse. You learn to wait, to breathe, to discern. And in that discernment, wisdom arises. Observing your thoughts also helps you know yourself deeply. You discover which patterns repeat, the fears that visit you most, the mental stories you tell yourself again and again. And far from being an excuse to judge yourself, this is a doorway to understanding and transforming yourself. It is not about eliminating negative thoughts, but about relating to them in a different way. Stop seeing them as enemies and begin treating them as passing clouds. It does not matter if at first you get distracted or forget. Each time you remember and return to observing, you are strengthening your attention. You are awakening. Make this practice something simple, daily, without expectations. Just you, your breathing, and your mind open like the sky. And every morning, by observing your thoughts with calm and without judgment, you will be cultivating fertile ground where freedom, clarity, and peace can flourish. Technique 8. Smile gently. There are gestures so small that they seem insignificant, but that in reality have a deep power. Smiling upon waking is one of them. It is not about showing a forced expression or pretending joy that you do not feel. It is about inviting lightness, well-being, and openness with a simple and silent movement of your face. Before getting up, when you are still between sleep and wakefulness, form a gentle smile on your lips. It does not have to be big or obvious, just a soft expression, almost imperceptible, like someone caressing their own heart from within. In Buddhism, it is recognized that the body and the mind are deeply connected. What happens in one affects the other. A tense posture can intensify anxiety. A calm face can soften a difficult emotion. In this way, a conscious smile is not only a reaction to what you feel, it can also be a cause that transforms what you are feeling. That smile at the beginning of the day is like opening a window to let the light in, even if the sky is cloudy outside. Even if your thoughts are heavy or your emotions are stirred, that kind gesture is a silent reminder that there is something within you that is still luminous, available, alive. This simple act is an act of tenderness toward yourself. It is telling yourself without words, I am here. I am with you. We can begin gently. You do not need grand reasons to smile. It is enough to be alive. It is enough to know that you can choose how to inhabit this moment, even if it is difficult. Zen teacher Nathan often used to say, sometimes your joy is the source of your smile, but sometimes your smile can be the source of your joy. And it is true, even if at first it feels forced. By smiling gently, something inside you begins to relax, to soften, to open space for a kinder sensation. The mind interprets that signal and responds with more calm. The body reduces its tension. The heart settles. Make this smile an intimate ritual. No one has to see it. It is not for others. It is for you, a subtle way of welcoming yourself to the new day. A way of planting a different energy from the very first second of awareness. And if one day you cannot smile, if you feel overwhelmed or sad, do not force yourself, but try at least to remember that this possibility is still there waiting for you. Perhaps tomorrow, perhaps later, because a smile is not a duty. It is a door, and you decide when to cross it. In Buddhist practice, every gesture done with awareness has spiritual value. Even this small, intimate, silent smile. And when you choose to begin the day this way, you are choosing to walk with more tenderness, more acceptance, and more light. Technique 9. Enjoy the simple. In modern life, we often associate happiness with the extraordinary. Great achievements, intense moments, uncommon experiences. However, Buddhism reminds us that true fulfillment is not found in what is rare or distant, but in what is already here, in the everyday, in the simple, in what we often overlook. Upon waking, you can find peace in something as basic as the first sip of water. Feel its freshness moving through your throat, the subtle relief it brings to your body after rest. Do not drink it in haste or out of habit. Do it with attention, as if it were the first time. Because in a way, it is... Look at the light coming through the window. Observe how it changes the tone of the room, how it plays with the shadows, how it reminds you that the day has begun. Listen to the sound of birds, even if only in the distance. They do not sing for a special reason. They simply express their being, their natural joy of existing. And by listening to them with full presence, something in you also awakens. Enjoying the simple is a deep form of meditation. You do not need to sit on a cushion or close your eyes. You only need to open your senses to truly be where you are. Feel the water on your skin as you wash your face. Be grateful for the warmth of a cup between your hands. Listen to the silence between sounds. Buddhism teaches that the sacred is not hidden in distant temples, but in every daily act when it is done with awareness. Walking, drinking, looking, breathing. Everything can become a doorway to the present if you do it without haste, without judgment, without distraction. When you begin the day by valuing the simple, your energy changes. You no longer chase perfection or wait for something external to complete you. You realize that there is already beauty. There is already life. There is already enough, not because everything is ideal, but because you are truly there to experience it. This habit also teaches you to reconcile with the present moment, even if it is not as you expected. You learn to see what is there instead of focusing on what is missing. And in that shift of perspective, a silent and deep peace is born. Make this practice a natural part of your awakening. It does not require extra time or additional effort. It only requires your attention, your willingness to see with new eyes what has always been there. Because when you learn to enjoy the simple, you discover an essential secret. Happiness is not far away. It was only being ignored. And by reclaiming it in everyday life, Each day becomes a small miracle lived with gratitude. Technique 10. Walk with mindful awareness. Walking is one of the simplest and most automatic actions we perform every day. We do it without thinking, without noticing the movements of the body, without paying attention to what happens beneath our feet. However, in the Buddhist view, even the first steps of the day can become a deep meditation. Mindfulness is not limited to sitting in silence. It is also cultivated while you move, while you inhabit your body, while you walk. That is why, when you get up in the morning, make the conscious effort to walk slowly with full presence. Do not rush to the bathroom. Do not look at your phone. Do not begin the routine without soul. Walk as someone who honors life. Feel the contact of your feet with the ground. Notice how each part of your body cooperates in that simple yet miraculous movement. Observe the balance, the softness, the natural strength of your walk. And as you walk, breathe without haste. Allow your breath to synchronize with your steps like a silent dance between body and awareness. You can accompany your walk with a short phrase gently repeated in your mind. I am here. I am alive. These words are not empty affirmations, but reminders that you are present, awake, grateful for the opportunity to begin a new day. Walking with mindful awareness transforms the ordinary into the sacred. It is no longer about arriving anywhere, but about truly being where you are. Each step becomes an act of connection with yourself, with the space you inhabit, with the Australian land that supports you. Buddhism teaches that the body in conscious movement is a tool to calm the mind. By walking this way, worries lose strength, the mental dialogue softens, and a silent clarity appears. It is as if each step releases an invisible weight, an unnecessary tension. You do not need a special path. You can do it at home, in a hallway, in your garden, or on your way to work. What matters is not the place, but the quality of your presence. Even a few steps with full awareness can make a profound difference in your energy. Make this walk a small morning ritual, not as an obligation, but as a gift, a moment in which your body, your mind, and your breath align to begin the day from the root of your being, from the here and now. And over time, you will notice that this way of walking also transforms your way of living, because whoever walks with awareness lives with awareness. And whoever lives this way turns every step, no matter how ordinary it may seem, into a manifestation of peace, clarity, and gratitude. Every morning is an opportunity to awaken not only the body, but the soul. These 10 practices are seeds of awareness. If you water them with consistency, you will see a fuller, calmer, and more compassionate life grow within you. You do not need to do them all. Start with one. Do it with love and repeat it every day. If this video brought you value, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. Which of these practices do you want to begin tomorrow? May you have a day filled with light, peace, and wisdom. See you in the next video. A warm embrace of light.